Hey guys, how's it going? Alright, so today we're going to talk a little bit about some punctuation. Specifically, and through the magic of editing, I'm going to turn this wall into a board. But anyway, so through the magic of editing, we are going to discuss quotation marks. Hopefully that came in kind of cool. Alright, anyway, so quotation marks, first of all, what are they? Well, it's just a form of punctuation that you would add to your writing to indicate what someone is saying. Now, when someone is speaking in your writing or your story, it is a form of what's called dialogue, which I will have on the screen. So again, when you hear the word dialogue, it just tells you, oh, these are the words people or characters are using throughout the story. Now, you always begin with our quotation marks. So you begin what someone is saying with what are called starting quotation marks, and to end what it is they're saying, so at the very last word of their words, you would also close it with quotation marks. So it starts with quotation marks, ends with quotation marks. Now, you must use quotation marks to capture exactly what the person is saying. When I say exactly, I mean precisely, or what's often called verbatim, which means word for word. Now, if you're going to quote someone, whatever is in those quotes must be, again, what they've said verbatim, which is word for word. You can't guess or you can't add words within those quotes, or you do what's called misquoting. Now, I'll give you a couple example sentences. So, in this sentence, I would like for you to examine it closely, take a moment, and think about where you would begin and end your quotation marks. So, for example, "This is Tamar," said our teacher. I'll give you guys a second. Hopefully you decided that "this is Tamar" is what the teacher has actually said, and therefore I would need to begin the sentence, which is this, so quotation right to the left of that word, and end it on the last word of what the teacher is saying, which in this case is Tamar. So let's try another one. I'm going to give you a second sentence. Excuse me. "I moved here from Israel," Tamar said. So I'm going to have that on the screen, and I'd like for you, again, to indicate where those quotation marks would go. So for this sentence, after you had a moment, I would like for you to hopefully place the quotation marks, or have decided to place the quotation marks before the word "I" and after the word "Israel." Because, again, this is what Tamar, who was introduced in the first sentence, is saying. Now, as a third example sentence, I'd like for you, again, to tell me where the quotation marks would go. So for this, it's "Welcome to our school," Liz said. So I'll have that on the screen. Now that you've had a moment, hopefully you've determined that the quotation marks would go before the word "welcome" and after the word "school," because these are the words that Liz is saying. All right. Now, moving forward, what I'd like for you to do is try as much as you can to enhance your stories by including dialogue, which again is what a person, character, or characters are saying, in a story. So to indicate conversations between characters, or sometimes characters just speaking silently to themselves. But in some way, I want you to try to incorporate dialogue into your writing, because it will make it more interesting, and as such, broaden your audience, which means make it so that more people would be interested in reading what you've written, or to stay engaged in what you're writing. It just makes it more interesting, and it's a lot more exciting to see, hey, this person's got a whole set of characters, and it looks like each one has their own personality, which I can tell based on what each character is saying. So anyway, I look forward to seeing you use quotation marks in your writing, if you haven't already. And for those that maybe have forgotten, this was some good review and just a quick reminder to make sure, hey, maybe I should start, further revising my stories by thinking of ways I can incorporate dialogue. So anyway, you guys have a great day. I look forward to reading your writing as always.